Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Maggie. I am a mother of three. I work from home remotely and I do decluttering and DIYs on my channel. So if any of that sounds like fun or interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel. Today we are tackling the closet. If you are new, I have been building a closet from scratch as a first time builder of something this big, and it has been quite the experience. I am totally excited about how it's coming out, and am sharing this journey with you guys here. And so this day I started off with sanding the wood filler that I put into the pocket holes and into just different holes from all the screwing of the wood pieces that I did. And so just going through and evening everything out with a sanding sponge. And if you are interested in viewing any of the other videos that I have on this closet build and kind of what it looks like, what it looked like before this day, I will link them up above so you can take a look to see where this whole transformation came from. Honestly, it was a hot mess. It hopefully will be a lot more functional. That is the goal here with this build. I know I didn't have to build a new closet to make my space, to redo my space, right? I think decluttering probably would have also done a good job, but ultimately I decided to take on this project because we do need better, more functional closet space, because it just wasn't working well. And again, if you go back into my videos, in my closet chaos video, the first one, you will see that there were shoes and clothes behind clothes that were hanging. It was just really badly designed. Whoever did this before, I don't know if this was builder grade or not, but it was not good. Anyways, here I am putting down paper to protect the floor from paint. And honestly, I don't know if paper is the best option. And I've seen different YouTubers and different people that are doing construction use paper, but I used a step stool. And as I was using the step stool, I noticed that it was tearing little holes in the paper. And I ended up using more tape to cover those holes so that when I painted, it didn't go all over the place in the into the holes. And here I am suiting up. I bought a little a suit because I also bought a paint sprayer, and so wanted to protect myself. And here is the last before I started with the paint sprayer. And as you can see, everything is just, I mean, it's good. It's a good bones situation. Here I am getting ready to spray paint, and I don't have a lot of footage because honestly this got so messy so fast. There was this cloud of smoke, well, really paint. And here I am just testing out the spray paint machine on the wall because I'm gonna have to paint it anyways. My father-in-law said that that was the best option to do, and so I did, and it worked out. And honestly, I've never painted before with a paint sprayer. I've used canned paint, spray paint, but never a paint sprayer. And this definitely took some getting used to. If I had any advice to anyone trying to use a paint sprayer for the first time, I honestly wouldn't recommend using this to spray paint primer. And only because that stuff is so potent. It is so strong and so sticky. I mean, it got everywhere and it was just so hard to deal with. And then you have to, in order for you to use the paint sprayer, at least the one that I bought, and I can link it down below for anyone interested in looking at this one, I definitely had to dilute the primer down to no more than 10%. And I don't know, it was just really tricky, and it just, again, I'm a newbie and didn't know how to do that. So it wasn't the perfect balance, and it was hard to redo. So anyways, the second day I decided that I was going to just use a paintbrush and a roller and see if that was better, because the paint sprayer just, again, was very difficult. And on top of that, I am not a fan of pouring paint out of buckets. I just don't like the mess that it makes. And plus I don't know what I'm doing, so I just used that little cup that you saw and poured it into the pan. Along with, I used that same cup to pour the paint into the paint sprayer. So maybe that was my problem too, but I don't know. This paint was very sticky, and it was not my favorite to use in the paint sprayer. So anyways, here I am using a paint roller and a paintbrush to get all of the corners cut in, and then rolling the paint, the primer on. I am priming everything because we did patch some of the drywall after we took down all the wood shelves and brackets and all the things off of the walls. We did use some drywall compound to patch those holes, so I'm just going over everything with primer to make sure that everything is sealed. And I can't remember where the drywall patches were really, so just again trying to make sure that everything is nice and sealed. And at some point during this rolling situation, honestly, I just got so annoyed with the paint rolling process. I definitely cut some corners, but I think at the end of the day, I think the end result is pretty good. Is it professional 100%? No. But I think it definitely came out pretty good. You'll see at the end what the end result looks like, but I am super excited to continue on and actually move my stuff into this closet. And so again, here I am painting with a paintbrush. These pockets, or these little shelves, I was actually really worried about paint spraying, because it's about 7 inches between the boards, and I was struggling. Part of why I gave up with the paint sprayer too was I was trying to figure out how I was going to get it in, and I YouTubed and I TikToked all the different keywords trying to figure out how people do it, and I didn't really find a lot of stuff. However, now that I've done the spray painting with the actual paint in these little shelves as well, I can tell you that it is possible. The spray painter that I purchased has a magnet within it that kind of orients where the little suctiony straw is within the little bucket. Honestly, I have no idea what they're called. But anyways, you can position the magnet to suck the paint out of whatever direction. So if you're tilting the paint sprayer to the left or to the right, you can have the magnet and the straw be in the right position so that it can suck up paint and not be just sucking up air. I hope that makes sense, but it is awesome. It is an awesome function, and it does work. And I sprayed all of these, basically holding the paint sprayer sideways and trying to get as much from the top, kind of like holding it at an angle sideways, up and down, to make sure I can get as much into the corners and a little bit up towards the wood as well. And then just kind of sideways made my way up to make sure that everything was also covered. It does work. But here you see I stopped cutting in with the paintbrush. I just went in directly with the roller, and then just whatever wasn't covered with the roller, I went back in with the paintbrush to kind of smooth it out. It wasn't perfect, but it definitely worked. And here, this took the spray painted area took about 45 minutes. That whole shelf unit, minus those two pieces on the bottom, took another hour. So definitely spray painting seems like a lot faster, but again, primer was not my favorite to spray paint. But also in paint, it's stinky. It is horribly stinky. I should have also worn the mask in here trying to paint it, roll it on, but I didn't. Definitely recommend it. It's so smelly. And here I am just, brushing it in. It looks patchy. It was patchy, but it worked. And then finally, I decided, oh my gosh, I can just pour this this primer in, and I did, and it worked. And I don't know why I was so afraid of just pouring it into the tray. It should have it wasn't that difficult. Then just roll, roll, roll. And again, it's not perfect. It's not pretty, but it's okay. It most of this like there's no raw wood showing. Minus some spaces I see on the top shelves, but it's okay. And so yeah, this was it. This was my life for about a week. Then I let this dry for a couple of days and came back with a sanding sponge. After you paint plywood with, I guess, water-based. I don't know if it's also paint, but in this case it was water-based primer. There were a lot of rough areas. It almost felt like sandpaper everywhere. So I went through and just knocked down some of that texture, and it got smooth. It was beautiful, and so yeah, just vacuumed all of that up. And as you can see, there's a lot of little boogers. Then went through and caulked everything. And my goodness, this was so much work, especially in the areas that had pretty large gaps. As you can see, it does make a huge difference in how good this looks, because before I did the caulking, you can see that there's lots of big gaps. But after I did the caulking, oh my gosh, it looks so, so nice. Is it perfect? Again, no, not perfect, but I love the way that it looks. I love the way that it came out and how it finishes the look. It makes it look less seamful, a little bit more seamless. And I wish I also had bought more caulk saver, which are these like foam pieces that you shove into spaces where there's bigger gaps. Then my husband shook some paint can or a paint can for me and put our actual paint into the sprayer, because again, I was worried about making a mess, but honestly this little filter made it so much easier to pour it in to the little container. And so then I was able to, when I was into the closet spray painting, I was able to do this myself. It was not as hard as I made it seem. Then I wish I would have been able to film inside the closet, but it was honestly so messy the first time around. I decided not to risk my camera. Here is the look before, and as you can see, the little pieces of tape on the floor that I had to patch the holes with. Here I am ready to paint, and here is the finished product. This is almost it, guys. This is almost it. I am pretty much done. Some of the paint looks patchy on camera, but honestly, it is not. I've put on my light and it looks really good. It's just the light that is coming through from the outside, from the closet, into the closet that makes it look a little funky, but it looks so good. Now we just have to install the rods and move in, to be honest. This is it. I appreciate you coming here to watch my video. Thank you so much. If you are interested in looking to see what that looks like next week, please consider subscribing. Have a good one. Bye.